get set. Where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
This is why I train in martial arts. You know, one way I think that the martial arts can really help you out is that it teaches you how to set goals. That should be something that you pick up. And I know a lot of people don't, because a lot of people can't look at area A and transfer what they learn into area B. So if they know how to get a black belt, they think that that's how you get a black belt, and all that information for that just goes in that direction. And that's not true. There are principles that you learn or that you should have picked up on in the process of getting a black belt that you will be able to apply to other areas of life. Just that very act of getting a black belt itself, you have to break your time up into smaller goals, smaller attainable goals. You have to take risks. When you're learning something new, you have to learn how to do things in front of people. You have to learn how to interact with other people in order to get the information. If you compete, you're learning how to handle stress. So, and other things. So with all that being said, I was looking at a finance channel today. What is his name? I believe his name is Daniel Alley. Is it Daniel Alley or Daniel Ally? I'll say Daniel Ally. And one of his videos where he says is four mistakes all poor people make. I'm gonna do a riff on that and talk about 4 mistakes that poor-minded martial artists make. Okay, and they are making assumptions, having a single source of knowledge, avoiding risk, and balanced living. Now, number 4 is something I actually strive towards, but in the context that he's talking about, I have to admit, yeah, he's right. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. First thing is making assumptions. Now, if you've been online in any martial arts internet forum, you know people make assumptions. And I use those assumptions to my advantage. I said in one of my earliest videos how I use Taekwondo hate to my advantage. People make advantages about martial artists just saying that because they train in a particular style, that means they have to have a particular weakness. Like with Taekwondo, they assume that we're all WTF style kickers. So that means that if they get up close, that none of us know how to use our hands, or that none of us know how to grapple. Okay, none of us can fight on the ground. Now, even though I coined Cecil Ryu Taekwondo, and I'm telling you, you do Taekwondo and your second major is your minor is Judo, and you want to get some smidges of boxing and Kyushu Jitsu, right? They think that all they hear is Taekwondo, and they think that they can come and just like out grapple us, and they'll try to go to grappling or something like that. When people have tried to drop in, which I don't allow anymore, I do not allow drop-ins. But people try to come through, drop in, and they think that if they make it a grappling contest, that they're going to win. And a lot of them probably assume that they get into a fight with someone. They probably would assume they got into a fight with one of my students that they don't really know how to punch or how to wrestle. So then when it doesn't go well for them, they get angry, they get upset, they get mad, right? But people that major in striking could be just as guilty of that too, because they may assume that somebody who purports to be a grappling major doesn't know anything about striking, and that's not true, because there are a lot of judokas out there that know how to box. There are a lot of people who know judo and jujitsu who also have black belts in karate, especially if you're talking about the person who was teaching the class. So don't make assumptions about what somebody knows just based on what they do up top, what's their forte, what their main thing is. It's just like the guy that gave me boxing lessons in the reserves. I was like, I saw him doing something. I was like, but I thought you seem like you know kung fu or something. He goes, yeah, I do. Boxing's my main thing, but I did this. And I tell people, when he started saying Shingi, Bagua, I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, what? Shingi, Bagua, what is that? I didn't know what he was talking about. What are these words? What language is that? He goes, you'll learn it. If you stick around long enough, kids, you'll learn it. And get back to work. But seriously, don't make assumptions about a person's ability just based on what they're supposed to be teaching, what their major is. You know, some of us like me, I put everything I've been exposed to on my site. Okay. So I guess you can make assumptions based on that. Or is everything I've studied on that site? Number two. Now, for mistakes that poor people make, he talks about having a single source of income. Okay. That's something I kind of disagree with, but that's fine. I still listen even if I may disagree, because he does have a point though. He's saying in finances, if you're talking about relying on one stream of income and it's really not a good revenue stream, and he even says, well, if you've got a really good job or some kind of really good professional job that's really paying you well, yeah, that just might work out for you. And that makes sense. Now, in terms of martial arts, I'm talking about having just one single source and stream of knowledge. Now, let me make this clear. If you are not a black belt, I don't care how mad you get, if you are not a black belt, the best thing for you, until you get that black belt around that waist of yours, is to only have one source of learning, your instructor. That is truly the best course of action for you, assuming, of course, you have a great instructor. You should just rely on him and her, period, up until you get that black belt. Now, once you become a first-degree black belt, at that point, then you need to learn from as many different people as you can. You can still have your favorite instructor, but you should learn from other people. And you know what? Really good instructors are going to expose you to other people. A really good school or program, you're going to have your main instructor that you learn from. You're going to have a more seasoned, maybe a black belt that knows more than him or her coming through. You might have some brown belts that have been around forever but still know a lot of stuff. You may have purple belts, even a beginner, that have experience in another style that may come and share that with you to help you up along your journey. Okay? Cross-train. Now, I know I've made a hypocrite by saying that, because I cross-trained. I know I cross-trained before I got a black belt and anything. But this is what I did after a while, and this is the difference. When I set to do committed cross-training, not just I have to start all over again because I'm moving, so I'm kind of cross-training because I'm just going to another school. I cross-trained as something that was a complementary discipline to what I was learning, meaning the main thing I was learning was punch kick. I took throw pin lessons. The main thing I'm learning is choke grapple. I take boxing lessons. If you just can't wait till black belt, don't do 3 forms of karate at the same time. Don't study ITF. I said it. Don't study ITF and WTF Taekwondo at the same time unless it's from the same instructor. If it's from the same instructor, that's cool. But don't go to that Taekwondo school and then that Taekwondo school and then go, well, over here we did this and over there we did that. Now, I personally don't mind if you do that. I don't care if you do that. But I know for a fact it's going to slow down your progress. So you have one source until you get that Shodan. Once you get the Shodan, then you need to branch out, because guess what? Like I've said in a couple of other videos, every traditional martial arts that's alive now was at once in a mixed martial art. And really, mixed martial arts have been around so long now that they're their own tradition. So they're really traditional martial arts. So now there's really no such thing as a mixed martial arts that's really different than traditional martial arts, because now mixed martial arts has its own way. See? Avoiding risk. That's something else that he said is a problem in this video. You have to take risks. You have to take chances. You're not going to learn if you only do moves that are comfortable for you. You have to take a risk of not being able to do a move well. Now, don't do something that's going to injure you and that's bad for your health. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the context of taking a risk with martial arts, the risk of competition, if you feel as though, if your health permits it, you should compete at least once. At least once. Sometime in your career. At least once. I'm not a big competitor. I'm not big on competitions, but I did it. You should do it at least once, just for the experience. You got to learn how to do some moves that you may look silly doing. You have to take the risk of learning a pattern that's hard for you. And you got to take a risk of taking your test to get your ranks, because you might actually fail that test. So again, unless your doctor's telling you if you do one more roundhouse kick, you're going to have a stroke, you need to take risks because you're not going to get better. Okay. And the fourth thing he talks about is he says balanced living. He's talking about people that say, oh, I want a balanced life, and then they don't make any sacrifices and take the time to actually do things that, are going to improve themselves. But a lot of people, and this, I was really guilty of this too. They don't want to like start a martial arts program because they say, I don't have time. I don't have time to do it. I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Now, I do know that some martial arts programs and classes can be entirely too time consuming. You really don't have time because they want you to come there 5-6 days a week and then travel all over creation just to get a show done. Now, I don't even do that to people. I don't even require that of you. But you got an hour a week. I know you got an hour or an hour and a half once a week to come. Now, your progress will be slower. But it's not necessarily about how many times you come to class per se. Yes, that can be a factor, but what it's about is consistent effort over time. You have got to practice and come on a regular basis so that your overall progress is forward. See, when I eventually amped up and started going to classes like more than once a week, this is before I started teaching more than once a week, started attending more than once a week, I figured out I only had to do that when, if I don't do the attendance thing, they're just not going to move me up. Then I did it. Because what I found was when I was started, you know what, I'm going to come more and do this, and I'm going to come more. I got time. The kids are busy, right? That's one thing too, Dan Ally says in this video. Don't try to wait till the kids are grown until everything's perfect. Start doing it right now. Okay? Unless you got elder care, okay, or you're caring for somebody that's incapacitated like elder care, you got time. I know you do. If it's not a newborn, and it's not an elder, and it's not a paraplegic that you got to take care of, or it's not you working crazy overtime, you got time, okay? But what I found was I start coming to class more, and then I start practicing less because I'm coming to class. So that part of me that was like, oh, I got to practice, was like, I'll be going to class, I ain't doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not practicing. I'm just doing everything. I became the type of people that annoyed me because I figured, oh, I'll work on it in the next class. I don't need to go through those fits. I don't need to practice the form. I just go through it in class. I'm going to be in class on Thursday, something like that. Oh, we got class Saturday morning. I ain't got to work on it now. I was like, oh, no. No, you should be practicing and coming to class. You should be putting in more hours. So it's like I basically just ended up not putting in more hours. I was still investing the same amount of time that I was before. I was just getting credit for it because the instructors could see me. You see what I'm saying? And that was all in the weird attempt of trying to be balanced. Now, true balance is you got 24 hours a day, you got 7 days a week. Get your 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep that you ain't need in your 24. But set aside time every day to stretch. Set aside some time every day to work out. You got your day job, you got your day job time. So maybe if you can find a way where you don't have to, if you can work a day job where you don't have to commute really, really far or something like that, then that's something that will give you more time. Because I tried my best to work jobs that I know I can drive to relatively easy at a good amount of time so that I can practice if I need to. In fact, one of the reasons why I was able to get the judo black belt is because I took a job. I think, did I get laid off? Was that one of the layoffs when I found that? Well, it was a huge, I didn't get laid off. There was a huge hint that a layoff was coming. And since I was the newest person, it was probably going to be me. right? But the boss, God rest his soul, that man was a phenomenal leader to this day. I still have respect for that man, even though he passed away. But he gave me time to look for a job before he actually had to drop the hammer. And I looked for a school. I looked for a job that was near a class I'd been wanting to take, so I could actually. I was at Brown, and then I couldn't go to judo anymore because I just had time. I was like, no, I'm too close. And I found a job that was right near the judo club. So when I got off work, I drove up an exit, and then when I came home, I just came down. Even found back ways to get there. And I didn't come home. You could ask my wife. I did for about a year and a half, I think. After work, when I was working that when I was working that job, I didn't come home. I ate out and went to class, or I packed I packed the lunch, then I packed the dinner and went to class. And I set my job up so that it was right near my class. So if you're a working warrior like I am, working weekend warrior, a great way for you to be able to make sure you attend classes is you find a class that is near your job. So that way you're already out. And if you're stuck in rush hour, like those of us in DC area, you know rush hour is going to may take an hour. You can go from the work, drive right over to that job. Go from work, drive right over to that class. You're already out, you're already there. If your class don't start till 7 o'clock, you don't want to eat fast food because you're watching what you eat, then once you get off, try to stagger your work hours so that you get off work and you can drive straight to class. Or when you get off work, you pack your nutritious meals that you have. You pack your vegetables or whatever, your protein, whatever, pack your nutritious meals. You eat that, and then after you eat that, you go to class. And then come home. That's how you do it. So, but if you're interested in making money, check out Daniel Allies videos. But these are 4 assumptions. He's saying these are 4 assumptions that poor people make. But these are 4 types of assumptions also that poor-minded martial artists make. And people, they're in a way who are really just poor in fighting skills because they're convincing themselves by making assumptions, thinking there's only one way to learn, avoiding risk, and using their life as an excuse to try to not try anything. They think they can't learn martial arts, and it's just not true. You got 24 hours in a day, and you got to spend them. You got to spend them wisely, okay? And you can spend them without burning yourself out. And that's one thing I like that he said in his video. I don't know if I'm going to include that clip because the video is getting really, really long now, but he basically said what really causes burnout is you doing the wrong types of things with the wrong types of people. So you could be getting burnt out on your training because your training is no longer right for you. You need to do another type of training with a different type of people who will help put some new water on the plant that blossoms into your martial arts skills. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. Check out the video I'm referencing. And as always, peace, and seriously, thank you for your time.